Welcome to Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. Join the podcast mogul Phil Better as he interviews successful entrepreneurs that make their living in the digital world. Now, let's join your host, Phil Better, and his special guest today on Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. I am, of course, your host with the most, Phil Better, and today's guest helps business owners in specifically the SaaS and the service industry run their business and their company more effectively with results which results in sales that soar. He's trusted by Google, Roche, Consilience Ventures, Amgen, and AbbVie. I should have asked him beforehand how to pronounce these companies because they're really big companies, and I should have learned. But because of this, by helping these companies, he created the Strategy Sprints method that doubles revenue in 90 days by getting owners out of the weeds. And he's offered there's a lot of stuff on his website that he offers for free. It's amazing. He also has a host of a top 2.5% listen podcast called Strategy Sprints. Ladies and gentlemen, put it together for Simon Severino. Simon, did I pronounce your last name right? Did I completely screw up your last name?
Hey, hello. I feel better already. Yes, I'm Simon Severino. And yes, you nailed it, man.
Yes.
So happy to be here.
Welcome to the show, Simon. I just read off this little bio that you provided to us talking about who you are. But who are you, Simon? Like, who is Simon? How did Simon start in this digital world of entrepreneurship?
Yeah. So I want to be happy in life, right? I want to have good relationships. I want to have a good life. And in order to do so, I feel inside myself, what's the song that wants to sing? And what is it that I can contribute to this world? What's my superpower? How can I share it? And that has been, my 20s has been trying out different things. I found my thing when I entered the world of strategy consulting, especially sales strategy. Because when people are asking, hey, Simon, can you help? And when we say people, it's teams of B2B businesses, agencies, consultancies, software teams. And they are grappling with this really big problem. Like, how do we win against our competitors? How do we enter a market? How do we crush it in the market? How do we do more sales in a situation where sales feels mechanical or boring or sleazy? How do we find a better way to tell people what we can do? So I did fall in love with this question because it's so vital for everybody. If they don't have a sales strategy and a sales execution, nothing else will work. So they are really motivated. It's intellectually stimulating. It's super creative because you have to find, visual ways to express it. You have to build processes. You have to generate energy in the team so that they call people and that they sell stuff. I love it. And so I did fall in love with this topic of sales strategy, marketing strategy, and it has stayed with me. So now, fast forward 21 years later, I'm doing the same thing on a higher level. So what now my teams and the world is asking from me has a bigger lever, but it's the same thing. It's how can we do less activities but have more sales? That's what I'm here to help with.
So, Simon, how did you figure out this strategy? Like, you came up with the sprint strategy, or strategy sprint, sorry. How did it come about? Like, was it something that you learned from working with like hundreds of businesses, or was this an idea that you had already and you were just slowly fleshing it out?
1,600 clients, standing on the shoulders of giants, because I had mentors, I had bosses, I had my bosses and my mentors, they also had mentors. So for example, my first boss in St. Gallen in the management consultancy, his teacher was Peter Drucker, a Viennese person who left Austria for historical reasons. but who was the management guru, the first person to study management as a profession, as a discipline, as something that you can learn and teach.
I have
So
his book. It's on my nightstand. Peter
and
Drucker is an amazing guy.
it's still so current. All books super relevant, super current. So, for example, do the right thing before you do it the right way, right? Efficacy before efficiency. This is all Peter Drucker. So I was standing on the shoulders of giants. They had great teachers. So I was in a lineage of wisdom, and then I was a practical person under pressure because I had the teams of BMW, AMG, Google, Consilience Ventures. Everybody saying, "How do we win here? We need a strategy." And I was like, "Okay, let's create one." And so I was in the trenches. I was working 320 days a year for many years, and then bit by bit, stuff was working multiple times over multiple industries, over multiple countries, for multiple product launches. And I said, oh, this is an evergreen. This seems to be a process like yoga that works for every single body. Yoga works if you do it in India, if you do it in Montreal, and if you do it in Paris. Because in the end, that's a couple limbs that you have. And if you stretch them, it works. So when you find that, as an agency, as a professional service, when you find that, you are onto something. And this is what I describe in the book, the Strategy Sprints method. When you find that, now you start systemizing. So it becomes a product. So now you have a mini product. Look, I have this process. This can always help you increase your B2B sales, for example. It worked in 14 countries, 12 industries. It probably will work for you. Here it is. And now you have your mini product. This is especially important for service businesses, like agencies, consultancies, who just have knowledge. And if you don't do that, you will burn out. Because if you don't do that, every project will start from scratch. And then you will have scope creep. You start with the topic, but then they want more, but you are not charging more, and it's hard to charge more in the middle of a project. That's why most teams, they burn out. Or they run out of cash, which is also important. To have that cash flow always steady, and that's the pipeline. So all these questions I absolutely fell in love with. And where does the method come from? From the trenches. Having teachers, yes, but being in the field and having to apply those models and have them tested. And some of them, they proved to work in every circumstance. Those became the core templates that we now share in the Sprint University. It's 274 templates. Took me 21 years to create them. Every week I'm curating them, watering them, improving them a little bit based on client feedbacks that we get from multiple countries. But it comes from action, from really having to solve problems. And when a process proved itself, it became a module in the university.
I love it. And I love how you're building a university. You're building up a place where business owners can go. They can go back to school, because we all know you never stop learning. Every single day, the minute you stop learning, the minute you stop trying to improve yourself, is the minute you start to die, or your business starts to die.
I hate school, and I would never build a school. I call it the Sprint University because it's full of knowledge, right? And
Yeah.
But it's practical knowledge. So what I hate about school is they have you sit down and learn stuff. This is not what entrepreneurs need, nor what they want, nor anybody needs. What do we need? We need being in action, no rules, all actions, all exploration, and then from time to time having a Jarvis in our ear that we can ask, hey, I'm not sure, should I do this or that? Come on, help me. And then that thing can and then say us, oh, don't do that. There is a cactus there. No, do that. And then we are in action again. So this loop of doing, building, exploring, in a discovery mode, and then a quick check with somebody helpful, a quick check. This is what I wanted to build. So in the 90 days coaching, the entrepreneurs, they build a landing page, they build an email, they write an email, they write a social post, they call people, they try to close a deal. 1 hour before they have the call where they want to close the deal, they call us, the sprint coach, and they go, oh, hey, I have to close this $15,000 deal. Please, can I pitch it to you and you give me quick feedback so that I'm best prepared for the next hour? And so in that moment, we come in here and say, yes, so pitch it, let's improve it. Here is a template, here is a 5 minutes video, because you have an hour. Here is a 5 minutes video that will show you the 3 things that you can refine, and now go and crush it. So it's really not as cool in terms of, sit down, learn.
Yeah.
It's you're in action and I'm Jarvis, you're Spider-Man, I'm your guy in the chair.
I love that. No, and I think that's the type of school we need after the basic elementary and high school moving into an entrepreneur. It's getting your hands dirty, because we need to be in action. If you're an entrepreneur, you're always coming up with ideas. You want to be in movement. You want to create something, be it a business, a product, a service, or something. But you may not know all the answers, but this is where I want to go. I'm just going to start. And then, like you said, having that Jarvis in your ear, or that school that's like, oh, it's just a reference guide. That's what the school is when you go on. It's a reference. It's like books. And I love that it's in one location with you in your school and in your coaching, that you have this place where people can just contact when they need, like, okay, I need that little buff. Like, I know this is going to do well, this sale, but like you said, the coach can take it and just refine it just slightly, just to make it that just much better. You trust in yourself, but we can help you take it to the next level. I love that.
And I just started yoga. And so when you start yoga, you realize, wow, this simple process, which is, step 1, do this, step 2, do this, step 3, do this, such a simple process. Can it really be impactful? And then you do it a couple of times and you go, oh my God, my body is now really working like it should be, like it's meant to feel great. But it was just 6 stretching stuff and 2 breathing stuff. So simple. How is it possible? It's possible because for thousands of years, people have been working on this process, and only the processes that survived that were really helpful. So you do the primary series, Ashtanga Yoga, or you do Shambhavi, Mahamudra Kriya, very simple series of movements, but you feel so much better. And because your body is meant to do that. So, and that's the beautiful thing. So when you are starting a business, keep it simple. There are so many moving parts, make it simple. There is a simple process for one thing that you do for awareness, one for interest, one to engage, one to close, one to deliver, one to retain. It's 6 elements. Don't overcomplicate it. You build these 6 things, and then every week you ask your people, your clients, what's working best? What do I need to improve? What's missing? And you improve it. So every week you just improve that one thing that they tell you need to improve. So you are watering now your garden, and those trees, 6 trees, you give water to one. Over the weeks, over the months, over the years, it's going to be an amazing product. And now services don't think in products. They think, oh, I know, but I don't have a product, right? It's me and I'm building websites, or it's me and I'm doing copywriting. Well, actually, if I ask you, if I interview you, you will tell me those 6 things, because everybody does a process of something. If it's helpful, you have a process in your head. So we have to get it out of your head. That's the Strategy Sprints method. It's simplified so that every week you can improve it a little bit, and then it will become something wonderful. And when it's wonderful, it starts selling itself. Because if it's good, people will tell other people. If it's good, you will be so happy to talk about it, like a little child. A little child finds a butterfly. Oh, look, I found a butterfly. It's automatic. You are so happy, you want to share it.
So true. So true. I want to go back in your whole journey that you've had so far. Is there a memory of maybe working with a client that you see the success they got and it was like a night and day? Like when they came to you, they were despondent, they were down in the dumps, and then just after working with you and or they had their aha moment. Do you have a specific one that you can share with us?
Sure. So Chanel was running her business from a cold country, Switzerland, and she wanted really to move to a warm country and to have her dream life. But like most entrepreneurs, she was totally consumed by doing marketing, doing sales, doing IT, doing legal, having all these hats. So basically, she was totally consumed by her business. And 90 days sprint coaching. After 90 days, she wrote us, my business generates revenue while I sleep. I am moving to Barcelona, and I'm happy.
That's awesome. How did that make you feel? Like you probably had thousands of these success stories, but finding one where they're moving from a warm, cold Nordic country down to Barcelona. How did that make you feel?
This is the best feeling. This is the reason why I work. I feel that work is an expression of love, of service, right? And Khalil Gibran says that work is love made visible. So in that moment, you get back the energy that you put into client work or into building the process or the product. So you get that back in that moment, and that's why I do it. So for a couple hours, I'm blissful, and then I have to create the new amazing experience. This is how entrepreneurs are. We are not great at feeling blissful and grateful. We have to build the next amazing experience. That's part of our nature. But in that moment, it feels so great. And like last week, we had Stefan, who wrote, they have an agency, a UX agency, so user experience. And they had a client that didn't have the budget to redo the website. Then they sprinted. He had a better offer, and he told them, look, you're not just buying the website, you're buying this experience for your clients. So client was, what? This is what I get? So it was the same thing, right? But they said, what? This is what I get? Let me go back to my boss. Let me renegotiate a much bigger budget for this project. And she came back and she said, okay, let's do it. I have now a huge budget. So their clients became their marketing department negotiating budgets for the project. And so he was super happy because now so much stress away from you. You don't have to do the sales. Your clients are going to negotiate the budget and come back to you and say, now I can start. That feels great.
It does. No, I love that idea where instead of looking like, because most people look, okay, this is what I'm paying, and I get you redesigning my website. They don't look to the next level, which is that one down. Yeah, you may get a new website design, but what does that do for the clients that you're trying to attract? Like, will it help you build a more sustainable relationship? Will it take you to the next level? Will it make the sale even easier or the navigation easier to get them to the sale? They just think, oh, I get a new website. They don't think of the next thing, and that's what's so important. And when and like your client Stefan didn't know how to say that to the user, and then comes to the sprint, and boom, you guys just, oh, that's amazing. That's an amazing. Oh man, I would love to be a fly on the wall when that during those meetings, just seeing the evolution of it. My God. I would like to know, Simon, a tip for entrepreneurs to maybe figure out or simplify a task they have, because like you said, we have 6 core things that we have to do in business if we're going to simplify things. Could you provide maybe a tip on one of those things, how an entrepreneur can maybe simplify that one of those 6 that you mentioned before?
Yes. So in the end, you just have to work on marketing, sales, and operations. These are the 3 things that you need to work on. And it sounds so simple, but the hard thing is to get distracted and to get into micro tasks. So to do stuff that's not moving forward, these 3 things. So the main tool, if I can only give one, I want to share the daily habit, because I have a daily habit, weekly habit, and monthly habit. And the daily habit keeps me focused on the right things. So, and people can download the daily habit template on our website, strategysprints.com. When you see it, it's called Daily Flow. And basically, it helps you write down, how did I allocate my time today? So 8 a.m. I did this, 9 a.m. I did this, 10 a.m. I did this. And then it asks you 2 questions in the evening when you close down work and design the flow of the next day. It asks you 2 questions. One is, of all the things that you did today, which one will you delegate tomorrow? And that's important. You can delegate to a software or to a person, or you can just cut it or outsource it. But it's really important that you ask yourself this question every day, and soon something will emerge that either is taking energy from you, is not giving you energy, or it's not really moving the whole business forward. So then you shouldn't do it. You should start delegating it quickly to a software or to a person, or just not doing it at all. So that's the one question. The second question that it asks you is, if you would live more freely and more intentionally, what will you do tomorrow? So now, informed by these 2 questions, now you create your flow of tomorrow. And if you do this for a couple of days, this will change stuff. It will free up time and you will tackle bigger things. And if this becomes your daily habit, I'm doing this every day since 20 years on my iPad. So you can download the iPad version of the spreadsheet version, whatever you feel more comfortable using. I do this every day, and I still find stuff where I go, do I really need to do this? Come on, I'm sure there is an AI that can do that. And I just hand it over to an AI, right? Or to a VA, or to a freelancer, or to a colleague, or I hire somebody, or I outsource it, or I cut it. This is the game of entrepreneurship.
Oh, that's an amazing tip. And it's true. Not just the daily flow, which is something, or a daily schedule, something that gets you, but the outsourcing, those 2 questions at the end, those are the big thing. Like, what can you outsource, give away to someone else, because that frees up your time to focus in on, again, the more important tasks, so that you can move that needle forward to the eventual goal. Great tips, Simon. We are coming to near the end of the show, and it's the part of the show I hate the most, because I have to say goodbye to my guests. But before we leave, we're going to get the spark question of the show. This is sparked by Seek Discomfort. And again, for some reason, always the perfect question, I feel, comes with this when talking, because it is touching on something that we talked about. But what is a goal you accomplished recently that you would like to share with us?
A goal that I accomplished recently, so many. We have yearly goals, quarterly activities, and every week we measure the 3 main numbers. That's the weekly habit, by the way. Every week, because we have 3 goals for 3 months, always. And those 3 goals get measured every 7 days if we are moving towards them. So every 7 days, there is 1 marketing number, 1 sales number, and 1 operations number that we measure. So I have many accomplishments every week. We celebrate the little progresses every week. 0.5% more subscribers this week than last week. we celebrate.
I love that.
1.1% more discovery calls, sales calls booked on our calendar than last week. We're happy and we celebrate it. So every Thursday, the sprint dashboard gets filled by my team. Every Friday, we review it and we have little celebrations. And on the operations side, the number is how many client referrals. So clients that were so happy that they told their friends, and how many of their friends became our clients this week? Is it 3, 4, 5? That number? Is it 1.0% more? Woo! We're happy.
As long as it's trending upwards, you celebrate. I love that.
Yes, and if it's not trending upward, well, then we know what we need to do in that week, improve that. That's it. That's the only task the team has in that week, is improve that.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Simon, we're coming to the end. I'm going to jump off the screen. I'm going to allow you the last little bit. Tell my audience where they can find you, how they can follow you, how they can support you, and how they can work with you. So the floor, sir, is yours.
Sure. So if you want more fun with sales and better numbers, there are 3 ways I can help. The first one is you go to Amazon and buy the book, Strategy Sprints. It is a very practical, like a cookbook for how to run a digital business. And there is a chapter on how to do digital marketing, digital sales, and client onboarding, hiring, all the things that we need to master. And if you want to download the tools like the daily flow that we were talking about, you can download them at strategysprints.com. And if you want a one-to-one coach to help you implement great sales systems and marketing systems, then you can hop onto strategysprints.com, talk to us, and we can find out if we can help.
Awesome. Simon, I want to thank you so much for being a guest on the show. It was a pleasure talking with you today.
I feel so much better.
To my audience, of course, all the links to Simon and his tools will be down in the show notes down below. So please do go ahead and take a look at it. I already started with the daily flow. It's always something useful to have to schedule your days specific for business, and always testing new things because you never know what's going to work for you. So go ahead and check out the show notes down below. And as always, remember to invest in yourself.